There we go. I think that's worked. I think we're live. Right. Hi, guys. Welcome to a Thursday reseller hangout. I'm pleased to say I have Sue with me. You'll have seen from the title, it's not a surprise anymore. So how are you, Sue?
I am fine, thank you very much. Now we've started.
Yeah, I know it's quite nerve-wracking. We've been chatting about, nerves about going live. But yeah, once you get into it, it'll be fine, I'm sure.
I've never even actually done it myself yet.
No, have you tried going live? You said you
No,
tried the OBS thing or not?
no, because I decide I'm going to do it and then I have a panic attack and I think, no, I'll not bother.
Well, in at the deep end, come on with me.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, go for a channel that's got loads of subs.
Absolutely. For those of you who maybe aren't subbed to Sue, Sue has a channel. I believe I did put the link below. If it's not there now, it will be after. I'm pretty sure I put it down there. So go over and check Sue's channel out. And we thought we'd just get together and have a hangout. Let me get to know you a bit, and hopefully people in the chat will have some questions. Simple as that. So first off, do you want to just tell us a little bit about you, about who you are, where you are, and what you get up to, that sort of thing?
Well, I'm a eBay reseller now, which has been for a year full time. Well, I say full time. I don't do the hours that some people do, but to me it's enough. I don't do anything else.
Sorry, that was me
And
ka-chinging.
I started it from selling my own crafts, sugar craft that I make on eBay, and I was selling cake decorations. Everybody was buying to make their own cakes and things like that. And then, of course, I was stuck at a table all day long and started watching YouTube videos. I think the first one I watched of yours was I was hunting for postage options, and you were doing your postage online account.
Oh yeah,
Showing all doing that. So that's how long ago it was. And then I kept binge watching everybody, found as many of you as I could, and I thought I could do that. So I started doing what we advise people to do, selling bits and bobs that you've got and things. And then I got a bit hooked on going in charity shops and car boots and buying stuff, and built me piles of shame.
Yes.
Ready to kick it off.
I was going to ask, because your channel is called Sue's Piles of Shame. So are there still piles of shame, or have you got through them?
I'm getting through them. It's actually getting to the point now where I'm thinking, I can't wait for car boots to start, because all the easy listings gone, and I'm now just got everything else left that's got millions of parts to it. You know, the Playmobil, Lego, anything. Why buy anything with one part when you can buy things with a million? Is the way I seem to be going. So all the easy
in the
stuff's gone.
toys, the Playmobil, and doing quite well on that. Is that something you're really getting into now?
I love it. See, my kids had it. My son was born in '81, and he had all the police Playmobil and things.
Yeah.
And I think I enjoyed playing with it more than they did. So I like putting them together, you know, the little scenes and things like that. So I'm liking that. Oh,
what?
That's my phone. It quacks.
There's a duck in your house. Did you know?
I'll turn it off. I put it on and I don't know how to get it off.
I just wanted to dip in the side chat and say a few hellos before we carry on. Lots of people have popped in to say hello. Peter was first in. Hi there.
Hi, Peter.
Patrick, Tap Peddler, Lex. Lex says, "Oh yay, I like Sue. She has a really lovely voice." Oh, there you go.
Oh, bless. Yorkshire twang.
The Yorkshire twang, indeed. What was it you said to me this morning? Oh, you've got a different accent on the phone.
It's more, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my phone voice. I go all posh on the phone. So yeah, welcome everybody. Lots of people saying hello, which is good. Let me just scroll down. If you have any questions, I will try and keep an eye on the chat. So if you want to know something about what Sue does or how she does it, then we'll try and touch on those. Wow, there's lots of, Matt again says, yeah, hang out with Sue. Sib K says, oh, an anticlimax, was expecting the Dalai Lama.
Right, is that it?
That's it. Yeah. What a letdown, eh?
Right, that's it. That's all your watch has gone now.
Matt also says, Sue's video on packing clothes is one of my favourite videos.
Oh, that's nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
A
You're
few
lucky
people
if it's
encouraging you
actually
to
in
try.
shot.
Sorry.
You're lucky if it's actually in shot when I'm filming, because I prop it up and then it's gone. A lovely view at ceiling.
Peter says you're a natural. There you go. You've got lots of fans on here.
Ah.
Fantastic. I'm just trying to get to the end of the chat. So many people popping in. Currently just under 100 viewers, so that's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm not watching that because that'll distract me too much.
That'll scare you, the big numbers.
That and having glasses on and off like a yo-yo.
Krillin has super chatted $2. He says, tell Sue's piles of shame it's not limited to the UK.
It's not limited to UK.
There are plenty of Americans with piles of shame. I've seen some videos.
Yeah. Some are bigger than mine.
Oh, absolutely. Remember, I've been
Tom's is good.
to Tom's house.
Yeah. Epic Tom's. Actually, I've got a little bit behind you as well, haven't you? But I suppose yours is all listed.
Yeah, some of this is listed. These bays are listed here, but everything at the back you can see pretty much isn't. So I've got a long way to go. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, well, actually, before I go on to the questions, you mentioned there about sugar crafting. I remember when I watched some of your early videos and you were just kind of on the tail end of doing that. Do you want to explain a bit more about what that was? Because it was going quite well for you, wasn't it? And have you stopped that completely now?
Yeah, it was. And it started because when we had the grandchildren 6 years ago, when we started again, because I used to do cakes for my kids when they were little. And I started doing the cakes. But you don't realise how, like a 3-tier wedding cake and stuff, they're really, really heavy. And then all the stress of the clients and deadlines and all that lot. And I'd started a website and I was getting calls on it and things. And my daughter said one day, I was still working for the man, so to speak, at that time, and looking for a way to get out of that because I'd fallen out with it. I was an estate agent, hated it at that point.
Right.
And it was my daughter that said, why don't you try selling the decorations? Some people can bake the cakes, but don't know how to do the decorations. So I started it one Christmas. I put a couple on, and it was like, ooh, I've sold something on eBay.
Yeah.
And then another one, and then it got to the point where I was actually having to stay up until midnight making them. It was a constant pressure as well. So I did it for a couple of years. But I'd got repeat clients and they'd order 20 sets of flowers for wedding cakes and things like that. So everything with deadlines.
Was it mainly, like, I was thinking flowers. So was it flowers or did you do fig or did you have a whole range? What were you making?
We had a right range. We had from tiny little sort of 1/2-inch things from baby cupcakes for baby showers and things to Halloween decorations, big flowers, 2 or 3 inches across, to big roses. And people would send me photographs after they bought them of, say, a ruby wedding cake with all these red and gold flowers going down it. And they looked absolutely stunning. And I thought, I'm selling these for about £5 a shot and you're getting about £400 for your cake.
Yeah.
Which was what it was for. That's what they were buying it for. But they were going to America, Italy, Spain, France, even Hawaii once.
So what was the
Posting them all
thinking
over.
behind? Sorry, what was the thinking behind winding that down? Was it just too much work for not?
It was my hands, basically. I've started getting arthritis in my fingers.
Right.
So the cake business went because I couldn't ice it anymore. I was getting cramp in my fingers and things. And then with the cake decorations, after you've made hundreds of thousands of small baby decorations, it was like, hang on a minute, I've got to make it. I've got to pack it. Hated packing them in the end. Got to make it, pack it, send it out, and hope that they don't get all crushed in transit. And I could have bought a toy for £1. This is you see, watching this. Could have bought a toy for £1 and sold it for 20, and I haven't got to make the blooming thing.
Right. Okay.
So,
I was going to ask because they must be incredibly fragile. I remember a friend of the family made the little bouquets of flowers for our wedding cake, and we've still got them because we kept some, but they're incredibly fragile. So did you have a lot of breakages, and how were you packing those things?
Hardly any breakages, really. Same if you pack in china or glass or whatever. If you pack it well, it's fine. It took some so it was spot on. Used to go through tons, the sort of maize-based packing niblets, and because they've got to be like natural, so I'll go through millions of those. And the bigger flowers, you know, the rice bowls that you'd get in, little plastic rice bowls
Right. Yeah.
from takeaways, we'd buy those and pop them in those first.
Mm-hmm.
And wrap them. So packaging expense was massive.
Right. So it was a lot of work, basically.
Yeah. For the amount of work, it's when you do any crafts, I don't think you actually generate what you put in hours.
Yeah, I think you're right. Unless it's scalable in some way, and
Yeah.
once you can scale it really big, but then it becomes a whole other ball game. So
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah, it was at the point I needed somebody else, and no.
Yeah. I need to say, David, let me scroll back. David McMillan super chatted £5. Thank you so much, David. It's really appreciated. It's not necessary, but I really appreciate that. Thank you. Let me see in the chat. Oh, Peter's had his interview at Sainsbury's. He's got to wait for. We're all waiting to find out, Peter. I hope you do well. Right, I think there's a question there. How many items do you have listed, and how many would you like to have listed?
I'd like to have about 800 because I want to double up on what I've been doing. I'm currently hovering at about 380 listings. I managed 400 before Christmas, and then it dropped down. And I could do it, but I've not as disciplined on getting the work done and not being distracted by everything else, to be honest.
Yeah.
Visitors popping in and washing and ironing. And
plus, I always think people can get a bit fixated on that number of how many things you've got listed.
Yeah.
If you sell all your stuff, you're doing really well. If you've got nothing listed because you've sold it all,
it never seems to go above. It's I've got an average price about £18 an item now. So when I started, it was about £10 an item. So it's now averaging about 18. So that's quite good. So although I've not really increased the stock, my turnover's twice what it was when I started. I think my first video when I'd gone full time was about April last year. So it's doubled in what's coming in without me having to do any more work, really.
That's fantastic. We're kind of trying to get to that as well. Andrea's certainly buying less of higher value, and in some ways with this new haul, it's helped because some of it's really quite high value. Like I think I sold 3 things yesterday at an average of £30, but that was all I sold. But it's still like 120 quid. No, was that whatever it was? About £100 with postage. But yeah, I don't know. Loads of what I've got here is like £5, £6, £7 oil filters, which bring it down again. So it's
trouble is once you've had 3 sales come in at 30, you get a ka-ching and you look and think, oh, £5.99.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas before I'd be like, oh, £5.99.
I just saw another question. Let me go back to that.
I think I would pick more stuff up to sell if I wasn't. Perhaps I've got a bit greedy in what return I want from how much I'm spending. I want to spend £1 and sell it for 20.
Yeah.
And once you've had quite a few of those, I think it's something.
Ooh, that's good. That's 2 so far. That was. Let me have a quick look what that is. Oh, it's one of Andrea's pair of trousers for £25. There we go.
Nice.
Happy days. Probably a jumble sale item, I would imagine. There was a question, I found it again, from Sib K. Not sure when you want to ask. Sue, you have lots of tips and tricks, especially packaging and storing items. What's your favorite or the one you love to share?
Favorite packaging or favorite tip?
Or perhaps he means what's your favorite tip that you shared on your channel or that people have got the most out of, you think?
I think the packaging one is one. I think that the China, packaging the China as well, I did as well as the clothes. I see quite a lot in your tap chat group talking about goods that have been smashed to smithereens in the post and things. And then you see the other side of it and people are saying, yeah, but if you package it well enough, that's not going to happen. And I think I've got to be confident that I could throw it downstairs because everything I've ever sold's been really delicate. So it's been a big part of it. But I'm lucky because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy that side of it. I like the satisfaction of knowing I could sit on that.
Yeah, I remember Zahir a long time ago kicking a parcel around his living room
Yeah,
and saying, if I'm not confident that I can kick this around like a football, I
yeah,
can't be confident it will
yeah,
arrive. Because we've all seen the videos of the Hermes drivers just chucking things off the back of the van. It's exactly the same in the Royal Mail sorting offices. So if you don't have the confidence to chuck it over your shoulder on the floor, which is what I do with a lot of my stuff once I've packaged it, because you need that confidence. I think you're right. You have to have faith in yourself that it's packaged well.
I think the big thing I thought about with all the sugar cake decorations and things was if you've got your square box, people look at this surface and think about that hitting and being a problem. You've got to think about the corner of a 10-kilo box hitting your box.
Mm,
You see what I mean? It's not just you kicking it about, but when they're throwing one and then another and another, you don't know what's going to hit yours.
mm.
So they've got to be super strong, I think, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm probably jinxing it now and I'll get a load.
You will. Okay. Just scrolling down, see if we've got any more questions before we move on. Glitter Sunflower says there, sounds amazing, Sue, very clever. I guess going back to the when you were doing the icing decorations. Right, I'm going to scroll to the bottom. Chelsea's got a question which is very similar to the next one I was going to ask anyway, so we'll do that. What was your family's reaction when you decided to give reselling a go? That's from Chelsea.
My husband was the first to be encouraging with it, really, because when I was in the old job, the nerves were. It was from the pneumonia. I had pneumonia about when would it be? 2009, and Mum had passed away, and then towards the end of the year, I was still in a state agency, and we were doing 72 hours a week, 21 days on the trot. It's really, I know people diss estate agents, but if you're conscientious, it's long hours. And I was killing myself basically, and I was ill before I even realised I was ill. So I was in hospital for almost a fortnight over Christmas in 2009. And then when I came back out of that, I had to say, put the brakes on a bit and don't work as much as you were. And it was the sort of job where unless you put in 100%, it don't work. The demands are so strong, you see. And so I was getting more and more despondent about targets and letting people down and this, that, and the other. So I was looking for a way out. But my husband was the first one to say, give up, give it in, pack it in. If it's killing you, it's making you ill, don't bother, you see. And then when I said, my daughter said about making the little decorations and selling them, he's like, go for it. Wherever you need, go for it. Well, you can see with the house, we've got the loft with the hoist and it's all been done out. When I started doing the cakes, there was a full kitchen fitted in the second bedroom. Very, very encouraging for me to do it. And now I'm not making the income anywhere near what I used to do. But now he's like, if you need anything, just let me know. He thinks it's absolutely brilliant. First thing he says when he comes home at night is, have you sold anything?
Yeah.
He won't go around the charity shops. He won't do the car boots, the sourcing now.
Right, I was going to ask, does he get actually involved
No.
or not? No, okay.
No.
But I mean, just the fact that he's supportive and has been from the get-go is huge. It must be so difficult if your partner isn't supporting your reselling, because we all know that it does bring a lot of stuff in the house. You end up with stuff everywhere, even if you're quite organized, as you are, I think, with your storage. You've still got stuff everywhere and you can't avoid it. So if your partner isn't behind you, it can cause issues.
I don't know how he puts up with it, to be honest, because the dining kitchen at the minute is full of Lego. If you stacked all the boxes up, there's about a 4-foot pile of 12-litre storage boxes full of Lego because I'm sorting it all and everything. And when he's coming home, I try and pile them up, make it look a bit tidier.
Yeah.
And I've taken up upstairs mostly, apart from our bedroom, and he calls it 6A. They'll say, I'm going down to 6, so you're going up to 6A? And I go, yeah.
6A. Oh, well, upstairs.
Yeah,
Upstairs.
he goes upstairs, the flat 6A now.
Excellent. So you mentioned Lego there.
Family-wise, there's son and daughter. My son thinks it's amazing, and being on YouTube, he thinks it's amazing. And first thing he does when he arrives is he comes to a rummage to see what we've got and if we've got anything You can get mates rates on.
Yeah.
So much so, I think he's just got 2 Star Wars sets and a Wall-E Lego set. My daughter, she's fully behind me, but she was surprised when I gave up with the wedding cakes. It's like, you've got a skill. I don't understand why you're not using it. But they'll get old one day and understand.
Yeah. You mentioned Lego there. It sounds like you've got an awful lot of Lego. Did you pick up a job lot, or is that just built up over time?
Well, I did I've kept buying bits, and then I bought a lot. I'm looking up there because there's another lot up there.
Right.
I bought a lot and paid £82 for it from a really bad listing on eBay, and I picked it up collection only. And his first photograph were absolutely shocking, and it just said Lego. So on looking through all the photographs, I saw that there was a Star Wars destroyer and all sorts of others. So I built all those, sold most of them. Still got there were a load of police stuff in it or everything. Brilliant sets. You know when these kids are playing with Lego and you can build a full set and there's nothing missing. It's like, God, these kids, they're either very strict or they've just not played with them.
You did well there then.
Yeah. So I've just picked up another lot. I've paid about 111 for this lot, and I've currently just built. Excuse my belly a minute.
Oh, wow.
So I needed about 5 pieces for that.
That's a cinema, is it?
Yeah, Palace.
That's awesome.
Can you see it?
So are you finding that it's really worth, because I mean, that's a lot of time invested there.
Yeah.
And I've had chats with Ben about this because Ben and I have done similar things in the past. And I did nothing but Lego for quite a while. And it's an interesting question, that the amount of time that you've clearly put into finding all the bits and building that up, do you find that is cost effective on time?
If I wasn't reselling the other stuff, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't do that as, building the sets to sell on. Time against money, no. I won't recommend it to anybody if they're just wanting to make money out of that.
Yeah.
It's, for me, more of a pastime as well, because I like, when you've been busy all day and you just need to get away from the rest of it, I tend to sit. I know some people do Candy Crush. I did that one. That one's gone. I'm on to Sudoku and jigsaws on the iPad and things like that. And I thought, I may as well be building Lego.
Yeah.
That I can then set. So it's pastime that I can then. My house is not cluttered with them, but I've enjoyed building them.
Yeah, I think that's how it has to work. Certainly for me, I enjoy messing about with Lego. So although it is obviously time out of my day, it is it's relaxation time. And I think in a way that's how Ben sees it as well. He thoroughly enjoys it. It's a lot of time and effort, and it doesn't really make sense financially in that way. But if like you say, if you're using the time that you're building to chill out, to enjoy yourself, to relax, then it makes sense.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I've loved it. I'm making Bart Simpson's house at the minute.
Oh, right. Did you get all the little Simpsons figures with it as well?
I've had to order some in. I got about 4 of them, but I've had to order Ned Flanders and Homer. But I've got all the others. Yeah, so that's it. If you looked around me here, you'd die.
I'd love to have any Lego. I'm fascinated. I haven't really got much in. I went and picked up a brand new Lego set, which I sniped on eBay local collection, but I've sent that up to Amazon already. Yeah. I'm too busy with car parts, which are driving me insane.
This other lot has got
oh wow, that's cool.
Like this. So it's full of this sort of Technics stuff. There's Polar Expedition. There's a maze game, which I'd never seen before. Yeah, it's grand. But some of it's not built right, so you have to completely take it to pieces to check whether it's right, because I won't sell anything unless it's right. So I can't just guess and think, oh yeah, it looks okay. No, I have to take it to bits.
Fantastic. I'm sure there's people in the chat. There always are when I get onto talking about Lego. Some people are just like, I cannot handle Lego. Lego needs. Zahir's a bit like that. I'm sure you've seen him talking about Lego. So it's horses for courses, and you clearly have a bit of a passion for messing around with toys. So
You've got to enjoy it. We've
yeah,
got to come up with some sort of racking thing now that I can slip all these boxes in so I can just pull them out. I mean, before I sorted the bits into these trays that my husband's bought me, fishing for one tiny little piece, and you're going tons and tons of Lego, and it makes a right row, and you can't find it. But now they're all sorted into like little, little Chinese takeaway pots.
yeah.
We've got sticky bits and clippy bits and 2x2 and whatever, so I can just pick one out now. It's great.
Oh, that sounds perfect. I remember there's nothing worse than trying to build a set and you've got a couple of pieces left and a big box full that isn't organized by color or anything, and it just takes you an hour to find the next bit, and it's just
but it's like trying to pick it out of quicksand, because you see the bit you want, when you go to get it, it moves.
Yeah, totally. Ah, dear. I think Ben's in actually. Hi there. Yeah, it's Ben Fitzpatrick's in. Hi there, mate. There's a question I need to scroll back to from Shop Windows. Says, I do mostly auctions, so try not to list more than 200 items at a time, as I can't keep up with packaging. Is this the same for you guys? Do you have an issue keeping up with packing?
Yes, it's quite easy for me to keep up with packaging. I don't sell 30, 40, 50 a day, so I'll probably have about 7 or 8 a day going out. And a lot of it is pre-packed. So as I list it, I'll pack it.
Right.
All the clothing's pre-packed. That just needs to go in a polymailer. Some of the toys, once I've cleaned them all, they're all put in a bag with the label on anyway. So I've come up, instead of individually wrapping them all now, I've come up with this thing where I line the box with big bubble wrap. And then so I can just get the box out of the loft, put it in the bag, fold all the bubble wrap over, and job done. So it's about trying to make it easier for me, I think.
You sound much more organised than we are. Well, Andrew's quite organised with their clothing. They're all, when they're listed, she bags them with a reference label on. They go in her drawers. So that's all kind of ready to go, really. The clothing's so easy to pack. My stuff's a bit more complicated. I was going to ask you mentioned clothing there, and we've talked about toys. So what sort of stuff are you selling? Is there anything that's off limits for you? And how are you sourcing it, was my next question as well.
Off limits is anything to do with media, really. I don't know anything about it. I can't even put our telly on. My husband's got a little pot at the side of him, and it's full of what we've always called oobry dubbers. So it's got so many remotes, I can't tell you. So the other day I was amazed. He said, look what I've got now. And he went in and he got it and he held it up to his mouth and he went, find Helix. And I went, that's amazing. Don't know what that is. I don't know what it is.
Well, you were worried about coming on and doing this hangout because of all the technical things, and it worked perfectly. I know. You can do it.
We set up, didn't we, to have a little chat before?
Yeah, we did the test run, and you were like, is that it? It works. What?
That it?
That's too easy.
Yeah. I thought, it's going to be really bad. I felt for Heather when she'd lost sound that day when she was on. And when you were all on.
When things go wrong, it really goes wrong. But touch wood. See, this has worked. You've managed this.
I know.
It's easy. Let me
I need a stiff drink when I've done.
Yeah, I'm off out. I play a regular poker game on Thursdays with some friends, so I'll be in the pub later. That's how I wind down after these Thursday hangouts.
Nice gin and tonic, I think I love.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Right, I'm just catching up to the end. So yeah, apart from media, which I find quite surprising, because I think, CDs and DVDs, mind you, there's not a lot of money in them anyway, and you need to kind of really know what you're looking for. But it's very easy to source and list.
I've done some CDs. I was lucky enough to get, I think I did a video on it, a box that had come in, and I'm lucky if I'm at the charity shop at the right time where they're completely overrun by something. So they say, do you want that? £5 or whatever. And I go, yeah. So I'll have a look at one, and it's got to be like mint condition. I think, yeah, I'll have those. So I've sold quite a few CDs from that box. There's not many left. And some were going for anything up to £10. So, from £2 to £10. So I'm pleased with that. DVDs, I've actually got 2 boxes full here. and I've tried with some, and they weren't really getting anything. So
the market has just collapsed on DVDs. I mean, I sold an old BBC box set for £50 the other day, but 90% I just aren't worth bothering. When we started out, DVDs were the new thing, and they were worth so much money, and CDs were still really big. I mean, I'm talking at the end of the 90s into the early 2000s. We would sell hundreds of CDs, you know, for up to £10 each.
Yeah.
Because they were still like £12.99 in the chart, most of them. These days, hardly anyone's buying them for a start, and they're so cheap on Amazon. So, but yeah.
One thing I was amazed with in the box was, you know, the Daily Mail. They used to give free little discs in there, and there were a box full of these things, and I nearly discarded them. What I like is when you've nearly discarded something, but you think, oh, what the hell, go for it. And I've sold them all. There were Narnia ones, there were old romantic ones, and some about Egypt and all sorts of different things. So I just put them together into little bundles for £5 a bundle, and they all went.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's like every charity shop has a box of them somewhere, don't they?
And I nearly got rid.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody else mentioned that a while back, but I've still never picked any up. They just look like they're rubbish, but like you say, there's a market.
But I think it makes sense not to pick up stuff you're not interested in. Because we watch these YouTube videos and we think, oh, there's money in that, and it's a good price, and I think I'll get that. So great. And I've got a bag full of wee things.
A bag full of wee?
A bag full of wee. Unfortunate name, isn't it? I've got the boards, balance boards, and I've got the consoles themselves. I've got all sorts, and they're still stuck in a bag in the corner. I've even done a video saying I am going to list these, and they're still gone back in the corner.
Is the problem with that sort of stuff your sort of tech phobia? Is it testing them that's the issue, or what is the problem? Yeah,
I've got tech phobia. I build a wall. I think, oh no, I don't know about that. I wouldn't know how to describe it. I don't know what goes with what, leads and things. You know, when my husband's setting up speakers or TV or something, there's these leads all over the place. I'm like, no, I wouldn't know a jack plug from a whatever else there is.
Exactly. It's comfort zones, isn't it? And I'm similar. I've still got a bag of silver plate stuff and what have you that I got ridiculously cheap at Fate, and I know there's money in it, but I just don't get round to it because I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to describe it, and it just sits there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm you know, I bought a load of media last week, sent tons of it off to Amazon, listed the rest on eBay within a day, and that's in the door, listed, and half of it sold already. Whereas that I've had for probably a year, and it'll sit there and carry on sitting there, and then I don't know. I just need to.
You've got to think about the little cross that you sold.
Yeah, well, see, that I could handle that because it was. Yeah, I don't know. I know I need to do a bit of research. This is the thing, and find out about the what do you call it? It's the stamps. Oh, what are they called? Hallmarks.
Oh.
But it means, yeah, doing some work and looking into it and finding out. So I leave it like you.
I think it's because you look. I think sometimes you look at it like I look at that big bag and I get it out and I think if I saw it through and I actually got it done, it'd be okay. But all the time I'm messing with something that I don't know enough about. I think I could have listed 3 Playmobil sets.
Yeah, it's true.
So I don't know why I picked it up in the first place.
We are all the same, Sue. You know what I mean? We all put off things that we're not keen on doing.
See, you made me laugh in the video that you did a while back when you said to Z, I think, the trouble is you deliberate and you get all this stuff out and you look at it and you think, what shall I do? Shall I put it in a bundle? Shall I not? Shall I do it separate? And then you go, just do something.
I know. I don't know if you can hear Monty. Oh, he stopped now. He was rolling around on his back. Come here. Let's get you in. I did say you could say hello to Sue. Because Sue kindly, didn't you, sent us a little package at Christmas with some treats for Monty. Come here. Oh, so you can say thank you in person.
You star.
Oh,
bless.
Oh, you enjoyed those, didn't you? Huh? Got nothing to say.
Looks like he's gone right shy.
Look how long his hair is again. Do you remember we cut him short a while back? Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, you can go down. I'll be now covered in hair. Yep. All over me black jeans. Right, come out the way. Come out the way.
We don't have pets.
Sorry?
We don't have pets.
I was going to say, do you have any dogs? I think you don't have any.
No, dogs have always frightened me.
Oh,
I had to get used to them in my job as an estate agent because I'd turn up and there'd be Japanese Akitas and all sorts of like, and so I had to get used to dogs. But I wouldn't have one. They're too much like having more kids.
yeah, he is. He's like having a child. But
Vet bills and
yeah,
kennels and
it's a labour of love.
we've had
Absolutely.
2 cats and they came a cropper, so I was devastated. So never again.
Yeah. Oh, I can't let my mind go to that point. Oh, can't think about it. Steve and Steph are in. Hi there, guys. Kiss him, says Steve and Steph. I could smell his breath when he's next to me. I can smell. That's enough to put me off. I'm not going anywhere near kissing him. Hang on, he wants to go out now. He's staring at the door. Go on then. There you go. Right. Oh, Zahir's in as well. He says, hi all, great to see Sue. Karin says, me too, Sue. Always scared of dogs till I got one. And yes, like having a child. Yeah, Karin's got a little Monty.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, right. I'm going to get to the end. Oh, there's a question there. David asks, question for Nick. Did you sell anything on Habu or have you not sent anything in? Martin has been inundated and he only just got back to me. I sent him a follow-up email after the chat and said we need to get set up and get some stuff sent in. And we're having a call, a Skype chat with him tomorrow to get set up and send this heap that I can see here of car mats is the plan. But yeah, it went really well and they were really pleased with the video and the response they've got. So thanks for that question. Okay, so Monty's now barking like mad. He wants his dinner now. I don't know if you guys can hear him. I was going to ask about sourcing. So are you sourcing at car boot sales or charity shops?
When you start again, I like the car boots, but our main ones don't start till April.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little indoor one, but it can only really be described as landfill.
Right.
You know, the stuff that's been doing the rounds for a year that's got wet and no, not good.
Yeah. There's a couple of regular sellers at some of the boot sales I go to. They have literally taken the same stuff back to boot sales. It's all sun faded and never going to sell. And you think, why do you come back with this absolute rubbish week after week? Surely they'll realize sooner or later nobody wants to buy it, but they turn up every week.
You go to the stalls that you walk past because of the smell. We stopped for a bacon butty last year and a van pulled up. It was late and we were sat eating a bacon butty and it was about 25 yards away in this van, and the smell when he opened the back of the van, it was so fusty. It had been every car boot for the past 3 years, I think. Rained on, packed away again.
I just wonder why they don't realise that their stuff isn't going to sell this week because it didn't sell for the last 10. But who knows? That's up to them.
I can't wait for the ones with the private sellers. When I got the first lot of Playmobil, I paid £100 at the car boot, and I saw her get the first box out, and then they were getting another box out, and it was like, how many have you got? And I've got all the, I'll have them. So I'm paying for these things, and people were pouncing up behind me saying, how much for this now? How much that? No, they're mine.
Yeah, it's quite an adrenaline rush, isn't it? When you can see the quality stuff coming out, and it's like, yes, please, yes, please. And then, oh wow! So you spent £100 on one stool.
Yeah, I've got these IKEA bags out. Luckily, I have one carrier bag stuffed with IKEA bags and things. I just kept flicking another one out and going, pop them in here, pop them in here.
Wow. Yeah, I did a similar deal with Lego last year. I think I got the whole lot for 80 odd, and it was exactly the same. He was putting Lego out, and as he was putting it out, we were trying to come to a deal, and then other buyers would come up and start picking up ones we'd already negotiated on. It got really complicated. So I had to kind of hurry him along on a price. And then eventually we agreed on £80 a lot or whatever it was. So I was like, sorry, guys, all of that sold. There was people stood there with it in their hands. I'm like,
they're going between my legs and all sorts to try and get these because I'm stuffed in between my legs so that nobody could get hold of my bags.
It's a weird mix of kind of panic and adrenaline and excitement. It's all at the same time, and then you're trying to think numbers, and
Yeah.
it's oh dear, yeah.
And you just have to go for it, don't you? You can't spend any time thinking that set will be worth that or that'll only be worth that or whatever. You've got to do it as an average thing.
Pretty much, you don't have time with that sort of stuff. Playmobil, Lego, video gaming. You have to know within that minute whether you're buying it or not, because the guy behind you or the woman, just coming, she'll snap it up. So you have to, and we all make mistakes in that moment as well. None of us are perfect, but yeah, it's fun. I can't wait.
I think my only regrets are things I've not picked up.
Yep.
You might see some toys or characters or something and you think they ring a bell, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And then you walk off to have a look, and then as you turn around, it's gone already, and you think, yeah, it would have been a good one. But
yeah, I've had quite a few of those. I've deliberated on something, and then somebody comes up to the store really quickly and grabs it, and you're like, okay, I should have just,
yeah, there must have been. I think if you go with your gut, you just. What's the worst that can happen is that you end up having to sell it for the £3 you've paid for it, or
Exactly. Yeah, I do a lot of working on worst case scenarios. That I pay a fiver for this, and that's all it's worth. So I sell it for a fiver, or I bring it back to the boot sale in the summer and get my fiver back. It's we're hardly risking a lot of money most of the time, are we?
That's it.
Okay, let's see. Darren's in. Hi there, Darren. Oh, that's another question that's kind of similar to the next one I was going to have. So Darren's asked it for me. He says, Sue, where would you like to see you and your business in 12 months? Do you think forwards with your business? Do you have a plan or not?
Not mega ambitious. I would just like to double what I'm earning at the minute. I'd like to get back to being able to contribute to holidays and things. I'm lucky that I've got a husband that's working full time. So when I say I'm full time, I'm not having to, support us all. So
right. So you don't have a great deal of pressure. So it's quite relaxed, I guess, really.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to try and go for it and put in as much as I can. But it would be nice if I can just double what I'm taking at the minute, which is why I want to get the stock. Just in theory, if I can get it up to about 800, I might have more than doubled the income if I can increase the average price as well. And I've got the space to put the stuff there. So if I can just double it, I don't want staff. I don't want to get any bigger. I don't want, I'm not bothered about going to the Bahamas, but it'd be just nice to be able to pay for a week in Filey.
Exactly. We've had a few discussions recently about everybody's motivation, everybody's plans, everybody's ambition is totally personal and different. And I love that about reselling. It can fit into whatever your plans are, whatever your life is, whatever your circumstances are. And there's nothing wrong with being happy with the status quo or wanting to do less, as we keep saying we're trying to do. We're not all trying to be a millionaire, and that's fine.
I think you can sometimes see somebody's figures, say in the Facebook groups or something, and you think, God, what am I doing wrong? They're making a fortune or whatever. But you've got to do what's right for you, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a few comments about boot sales coming after we talked about that. Peter Cummins says, I did a similar thing at a car boot sale with Sylvanian families. I got £205 worth and had a load of people behind me. It filled my car.
Yeah, wow.
That's awesome.
You don't need many mansions to fill my car. It's like a little shoe.
Oh, really? What do you drive?
I've got a little Citroen.
Okay.
And I never have any back seats sat up in it. They're all laid down, so it makes it like a van.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had the seats down in Andrew's Mini a couple of times. She swore when we bought that, it's not for reselling, it's not for work, but oh yeah, it's been to a few jumbles now. Okay.
Oh, I've got into the jumble sales because of Andrea as well.
Oh, really? Have you found a few near you then?
I've only been to a couple, but I did pretty well. Teas made for £1.
Nice.
Sold that straight away, and quite a lot of clothes. And the last one I went to, I wish I actually drove a big van because it was kids that have they do like amateur theatricals, and they were fundraising for it.
Yeah.
And all the kids rolled in the stalls, well, 14, 15-year-olds. And as it was getting towards the end, because I was there late, I picked up some really good bargain. And then these kids were shouting, the full table, £2. Not the table, just the stuff on it. But you can have the lot for £2. I'm like, God, if I had a van.
Oh my word! What were they? What's that? Clothing then?
Oh, it was everything: clothing, shoes. There was a table full of bags. There must have been 50 bags left on this table. It was like, you can have everything.
Wow.
And I pulled the old lady card because I couldn't carry anymore. And they said, oh, thank you for coming, love. And I said, oh, I'm coming back. I'm just taking him to the car. She went, yeah, I've got a trolley. So she pulled a supermarket trolley out and put all my stuff on trolley and then said, come back here, my love, when you've finished. When I went back out, they helped me out to my car.
Wow.
That's the white hair, you see.
Dear. Do you have a trolley for going around the boot sales like I do?
No.
No.
No, because if you're young, you can get away with it.
If you're young, you can get away with a granny trolley. How does that work?
Because if you're old, it just makes you old lady. Whereas you're just shopping. So, no.
I see lots and lots more these days. I don't think I started the trend, but a lot of people have them. And I've seen that the 4-wheel kind of like carts that you pull with little sides on. People stack those full of stuff. Yeah.
No, I'm a bit like a Sherpa. Kia bags, you know, the long straps on your shoulders.
Yeah, I use those. Yeah.
No, I'd get the wheels stuck in the mud, Nick, and it's so funny.
Oh, Margaret's in. Hey, Margaret. She says, totally, Nick. Everyone has different reasons and business models. Yeah. Right. Let me scroll down. Megapixel says, yeah, jumbles are the way forward. They're great. We have one at the weekend. Another one. It's a location we've never been to, so who knows what it'll be like. Can't wait. We do jumbling for fun, really.
Trying to find them difficult. If you're not out in the local shops and looking at signs in the post office and this, that and the other, you can only find them online, can't you? But you put it in and they're all coming up from 2015. And I found one that was on a couple of weeks ago and it got snowed off.
Yeah, I think this one is a postponed one because of the weather. They put it back and we would have missed it the first time around. So it's quite fortuitous for us, really. Daisy May actually asked a question, are you going to the jumble on Saturday? We are. Are you local and do you know about it then? I might see you there if you're going. All right, let me get... Oh, Karen says I'm dyeing my hair tomorrow. Wow, okay. Any particular colour?
Pink.
Yeah, why not? I get people trying to buy my granny trolley at car boots. So many times I've had to say, get off. That's Peter Cummins. I've had people, I rock up to a stall, park it, have a rummage, turn around and there's people going through all my stuff.
Digging in it. Yeah.
And I've had people just walk off with it without me seeing. I turn around and it's like, where's that whatever that was sat on the top? And people just walk off with it. It's shocking.
I've done it myself in reverse. I found myself digging in somebody else's shopping.
I remember Tom sharing a story once because Tom used to be much more into coins and coin collecting. So if he sees a pot with coins in, he'll have a rummage and see if there's anything rare. And he shared a story once that he was at a car boot sale stall and then was rummaging in a pot full of money. And, you know, you can see where this is going. It was their money pot. And the guy sort of come up to him and said, do you want to get out of my money pot? And that was his actual, you know, takings from the car boot sale. Oh, that made me laugh.
Lucky somebody could have just picked it up and run. Yeah.
You have to be careful. When we do car boot sales, we just keep the money in our pockets. There's no way I put it on the stall.
Yeah. I can't wait for the local one to start because they're usually families just selling their own stuff. You watch for the ones that's got the little 8 and 9-year-old kids. They're usually selling sort of thing I'm looking for.
You get very good at spotting what we class as like genuine sellers, like people having a clear out, don't you? There are telltale things. Yeah, definitely.
And something that you sell regularly, you can home in on it at about 100 paces, so you end up zigzagging, don't you? Because you're trying to keep your eyes all over. Because, like with the Lego with you or the Playmobil with me, it's luck as well that you've gone to the right side of the car boot at the right time.
Oh yeah, it's all luck, isn't it? Which aisle do you go down first?
Yeah.
Who happens to be ahead of you? Because we all know the faces that are dealers that want the same stuff. It's totally luck of the draw, really.
And we've been behind others.
Oh yeah, we've all
We've been
seen
behind others that've got it.
we've seen the epic haul, go disappear in front of us into the back of someone's van.
Ooh.
But I agree with you about you can spot something like 5 stalls away, and then I've got like kind of I call it bargain gear, where you go up a gear, don't you? Suddenly,
Yeah.
you're whizzing along. Oh, I can't wait to get back into it. Saz Guest says that's the jumble sale dream. I assume he means when you bought up all that, or when you were offered a table for £2. He says, I've bought a whole table of DVDs years ago for £1. I had 2 kids and a pushchair, so couldn't carry any more, and then sold them for 50p or £1 each at the car boot sale. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I ought to do a car boot just so I can get in early.
Yeah, some people do. Yeah, sometimes it's worth paying the pitch fee to get there right at the beginning.
Yeah.
What row do people go for at the car boot? The last, the first? My favourite is the fourth. I tend to, I don't know what you do, Sue, but let's say they're starting, the field starts here. That's the first row. Most of that's traders that have been setting up for a couple of hours. And then there's 3 or 4 rows. I'll go one from the end. So they're already pretty much set up, but they're fairly new. That's where
I'm more like you. It kind of goes in a circle. And then they start at the outside and then they work their way into the middle. So I'll start with the middle run.
Right.
Not the ones that have just arrived, but the ones, like you said, that have actually got the table up and started putting them out, where you can see what's coming.
Because I find if you go for the ones that are just setting up, that's where the rugby scrums are. And you've got, have you got any phones? Have you got any jewelry? All of those people shouting their heads off and fighting. I can't be dealing with that most of the time. So I go, about a row before that. So they're just about set up and they're ready to deal with you.
And how many times do you go around?
Depends if I've got another boot sale to head off to. Because on a Sunday around here, if we're really going for it, we'll go to 3. So it's a case of getting around, whiz around a couple of times if I'm lucky, and then I want to be off again to the next one. But if it's the last one, I'll keep wandering around if it's a nice day until they're packing up.
Yeah. There's every so often there's 2 in a day. One starts really early, and then the other one will start about 10. So I'll do that. I'll go around probably twice. Get a bacon butter to eat on the car on the way to the next one. But when there's only the one, I can be there hours. And the first time round, I'm like racing round, and it's a scan. They're my sort, or they're not out yet, but I'm going to come back to that one, that sort of thing. And then the Playmobil lot was somebody arriving towards the end, because like I said, the ones that come first knew to queue up from 4 to get in early, so they're traders. And I'll just keep going round, and I've found loads on the last trip round.
Yeah, I do like that because you're also more relaxed. If it's a nice day, you're suddenly into a different mindset, aren't you? You're chilling out and you're looking much closer. You're rummaging in those boxes underneath. And I've had some of my best finds at like 12:30 in the afternoon, just randomly looking at things differently. So it is worth hanging around, definitely.
And the bag's underneath, the carrier bag that they couldn't be bothered to lift up, and it's underneath, and it's full of Denby mugs, and I love that. So I'm looking deeper as to what they've got.
Yeah, I found some really nice Matchbox cars and a couple of corgis in the bottom of a box that was full of magazines, but the magazines that nobody was interested in were just chucked on top. There was some Lego in the bottom as well. I happened to catch down the side of the box a little Lego brick, and I thought, oh, okay. Pulled out all the magazines, and there's all these Matchbox toys, like I say, a corgi and a load of Lego, and I've got everything at 10p an item.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. I must say, Peter Ray has super chatted. Cheers, you don't have to do that. He says, great to have Sue on, Nick, a legend in reselling. There you go.
It's lovely. Oh, people lovely.
Yeah. So here says, I've often thought of doing a car boot to get in early, but I can't ever see it actually happening. Oh, it's jumped. Let me read a few comments. We're rapidly approaching the hour, so we'll just read out from the chat and see what people are saying. Daisy May says, I look much younger than my age. I was at a car boot sale with my dad selling, and a woman said to me, your dad said I could have that for 50p. I said, no, he did not. And she shuffled off. Okay. Right. Zahir says, yes, always a couple of rows down. The first rows are always regular traders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people have figured that one out. Simon Blitz says, last year I was behind another regular who picked up an NES for £5. I was raging. We can't win them all. We have to let it go.
Yeah, there's going to be somebody behind you when you get your good one that's wishing they'd been there quicker as well. It works both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it all evens out. I said before, and I want to do another video this year about just hints and tips for being successful at car boot sales. And you're absolutely right. You're not going to get every bargain, and somebody else will get some as well, and that's how it should be. But all you can do is put yourself in the right position as early as you can, as many times as possible, and then the odds are stacked in your favor. So if you can pay a few quid to get in early, be there and be near the front of that queue. If you can hang around till the end when people are letting things go for pennies, do it. It's just about stacking the odds in your favor, I guess.
I always tend to attract different types of sellers as well. We've got one that's in an old theatre that closed down, well, a cinema that closed down, and they've been trying to do it up and raise funds for it and stuff. And a lot of the things that go there are sort of antique-y, retro, vintage. It's like you'd find at a flea market sort of thing. But I picked up some nice things there, like train timetables.
Ooh.
And I had no idea, and I was like this, looking at her, and she went, are you texting your husband? I said, oh, he's a right railway enthusiast. And my husband says, is a railway enthusiastic, fat, thin, tall, short, old, young, probably cross-dressing.
Yeah.
He says, I've been everything in these charity shops.
We've all done that. I had the biggest family known to man. I have children of all sizes and ages that are into everything. Yeah. It just makes it easier to have that conversation, doesn't it? Yeah, I've got a kid who's into Warhammer, and I'm just texting him to see if he wants whatever this is. They don't need to know that you're looking it up on eBay.
We did a tabletop sale with my brother, and it was at a school, and so we knew it to be toys. So he came with me and helped me out. Anyway, we were collecting bin bags full of toys and depositing them in the corner, saying, can you hang on to those? We're coming back with some more. Well, you can imagine it was about a 5 by 5 foot pile of bin bags full of toys. And when we came, you used to pick your stuff up and then go to pay this one woman as a cash out. And we got asked if it was a nursery. And then we got asked which one it was. I went, oh yeah. Got asked which one it was. And my brother nearly fainted. He went, you won't know it.
Yeah, you can quickly dig yourself a hole if you make up some story, because then they'll ask you questions, and it's like,
which one? It's like,
oh, bless you. I was just reading, people were sharing boot sale story. Oh, there's a $5 super chat. Hi CC, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. They say, love you guys, so down to earth. It's refreshing. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh, it's nice.
I was going to read out. Oh, Joe's in, as in My Pack Rat, again, another American reseller. Great channel. Click on the link, guys. Go and check him out. Right. Oh, I've lost these comments I was going to read. Retrocable.com says, Nick, always look in boxes. A lot of my best finds were hidden. Got 2 vintage toys worth around £400 for £15 in a closed holdall. I had to unzip to see what was inside. Now, if that story doesn't stick in your heads, guys, to rummage and lift things out of boxes, open bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. even if you do it 100 times and
Yeah.
nothing's there, you will one day get a £400 prize in a bag. There you go.
Yeah.
That's epic. Thanks for sharing that.
It's the same with going back to places where you think they're not going to have anything. So you'll have charity shops and think, oh, they never have anything, but you just don't know. And if you're passing anyway, for the sake of 5 minutes to have a scan. And I got the Sylvanian bears, and they were the Japanese 20th anniversary edition. And I paid £1.99 for a tiny little box. And you know how flimsy Sylvanian boxes are, and they were just shoved in this box. And there was 4 animals, and the whole of the lounge for a Japanese room. And I think I got about 135 in total.
Wow, really?
And they said, "Do you want that?" Because they thought it was just bits.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
wow.
actually the full set with the little tiny bonsai tree and all sorts.
That's an incredible sale. Did
Yeah.
that go abroad? I bet it did.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
And I did them separate. I did the bears separate because the clothing was all on the wrong ones and everything. So I looked them up and I put the right kimono on the right one with the little tiny shoes, geisha shoes and things they had on.
Yeah.
And I did those separate. And then when I listed the room, it was only later that night when I listed the room, and I got a message and she said, would I take X amount? And it was the same buyer. So I thought, yeah, I will, because I'd really like them all to go together, really. And I was amazed how quick the bears had gone. So I thought, yeah, she can have them all. Yeah,
That's a fantastic sale.
not bad.
But you're right, it's about persistence, isn't it, with charity shops?
Yeah.
Where people like to moan about charity shops, but if you're persistent and you can pop in, you know, eventually you'll find something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, pretty soon I think we'll wrap this one up. We've been chatting for an hour and a couple of minutes.
I'll just say, Nick, how this has cheered me up, because people won't realise, but I'd left a comment on one of your videos that I was still watching, but just not getting as involved at the minute because I was having a few anxiety issues and things.
Yeah.
And you put a comment back that you'd sent me a message and said timing might be off because I've just invited you onto my channel. So if you don't feel like it, don't worry about it. And I sat and really thought about it and thought, go for it. You know, face the fear, pace up and down a bit before you do it and you'll be okay. And it spurred me on to put the last video up, and the comments from everybody's been absolutely fantastic, cheering me on and saying that they do appreciate my videos and it is worth me still doing them. So just a thank you to everybody on that, and thank you to you for inviting me on.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm really glad that we did this. And if in some small way I've helped to inspire you to do a bit more YouTube, then fantastic, because I know a lot of people do enjoy your videos. That being said, there should be a link below to Sue's channel. It's called Sue's Piles of Shame. So go over there, give Sue a sub and have a look at the videos on there. And I think we'll wrap this up. There you go.
Thank
it wasn't
you
too
very
bad, was
much.
it?
Enjoy your poker game.
Yeah, thank you so much for everybody for popping in. I hope we answered a few of your questions. Thank you so much, Sue, for braving it and coming on and chatting with me. Maybe we'll do it again in the future.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.
Take care. Bye.